These are gold nibs that I have in my little pen repair area that I've moved to my desk here because I got this pen on eBay the other day, and it's the nib that it came with has a big old, well, to me, a big blob of iridium on the end, and it just doesn't seem to be right with this pen. This pen deserves something more delicate. It's a very slender pen, streamlined, slender pen, very lightweight, or it feels lighter than it maybe is in reality. Now, how's that possible? How if it was filled with helium ink, it might be lighter than it is. Anyway, it just feels wrong to have this broader nib. And this nib is not a standard run-of-the-mill Skyline era nib. It's smaller. And let's see if I have a smaller nib that is finer. They look like they're the right size. You're not seeing what I'm doing here. Damn it. These look like these are the right size, but I want a really fine nib. Let's see if this one's any better for the look of the thing. I may have pushed the feedback too far. Yeah, see, this one works better in my mind. It starts out whisper fine, whisper thin, and has a little bit of flex, but it feels like the iridium might be a little bit worn on that one. This is a broken nib. The back part is broken. That's not going to work. Which is the one that was in it. Try this one. This looks like it has a big old blobby nib too. The nib that it came with, this feels better than the nib it came with. The nib it came with is a little bent, and I know I could probably fix it, but tighten it, rebend it. But I am impatient. I want to use the pen now. So, on another topic, there's a fountain pen Facebook page called Fountain Pen Group. I don't even know what it's called. David Isaacson is the narrator, the organizer of the thing, and I noticed that someone posted a picture of their, is this a Schaefer? What's this doing in here? That's not a Eversharp. There's some other little ones. Anyway, someone posted a picture of a pen, and next to the pen was this big old honking gun. And I thought, okay, what's going on here? You know, we're living in very weird times, and is this to say, like, don't mess with me? So, you know, this nib is much smoother, and it's much broader. Maybe it was the scratchiness of the other one that bothered me more than the size. this nib still wants me to be really loud, and I think this pen wants to be quiet, wants to whisper. This looks like it's a lovely pen. Anyway, let's go back to the one that this is a Wall Oxford. Is this the one that I liked? I think this is the one I'm going to put in here. Anyway, this big old gun. And I thought, what the hell is going on here? And so I asked, WTF is it with these guns? Can someone explain it to me? Well, David Isaacson, the moderator of the Fountain Pen Group, explained it. He said that he, as moderator, allows for people to include in the images of the pens they do their EDC. I didn't know what EDC meant, so I had to look it up. And I got even more frightened. A lot of other people had posted pictures of pens and knives and pens and guns, and I thought, should I get my knife I just recently used? It still has peanut butter on it, but I could, clean it off maybe. Take a picture of my pen with this. This is not working for me. Take a picture of my pen with a butter knife. Is that what I'm supposed to do these days? And anyway, I liked this before. Why don't I like it now? EDC means everyday carry. So not only do these people have guns, but they everyday carry them around with them. That was the frightening part. And I guess people that like guns or have guns like to carry them. It just frightens me. Yeah, I'm a liberal, but it still frightens me. What do you think? Do they frighten you? I guess that's what they're supposed to do. Get away from me and my pen because I'll shoot you. Well, get away from me and my pen because I'll write a dirty limerick. What was this one? That was that Wall Oxford. Do I like the way it... No, it doesn't. It's too small. So, I don't know. Right now we're living in a very weird time, and it's only going to get weirder, and there might be all sorts of panic and gloom and doom and everything around, and people that have butter knives and guns might win at the end of it. At the end of the day, they might win. Well, I hope they enjoy what they get out of it. Okay, now I've completely lost my train of thought. No, I haven't. I'm losing I'm trying to remember what nib I was using. Do I have to turn back and watch the video again to find out where I put the pen the nib I like? Does this even have iridium on it? I'll just put it back in here and try it out. I thought this might be an interesting pen to put one of my Franken pen nibs in. There's some very tiny tip pen nibs from the 1800s that might sort of fit nicely in this thing from an aesthetic point of view. Okay, this was the nib I liked, and I think it is running out of iridium. I think there's like maybe one molecule one atom of iridium, and the electrons, go between the tines in there. How many electrons does iridium have? So, looking through our electron microscope, we have the iridium atom right here, and the atom has been split, so the electrons are going back and forth. One atom shared by both tines. Now I got sidetracked again. Guns and butter knives. That's what we were talking about. I always used to think that if I was ever in a duel, I'd win. Draw your weapons, and I'd sit there and I'd make a little crosshatchy drawing of my 6-shooter. Meanwhile, the bullet is passing through my brain, but I'd still win. I'd win. Gee, Pierre really did draw his weapon. Draw, varmint! Okay, I'm all over that. Got that going. Well, God, I've got a lot of pen nibs. What's wrong with this one? The very first... Will this even fit in here? I wonder if this would fit. This is a Doric adjustable nib that is missing its adjuster. And I was just wondering if this would fit in there. No, see, this is the nib that belongs in this pen is a very small one. It's a relatively rare pen. I've only had 2 or 3 of them in my 30 years. I've never really looked for them very much, but aha! That looks like that would fit. There's another pen a little bit more modern than this one called the Ventura Burp pen, and it has even a smaller nib on it. I think it's more round. Does this fit? This nib wants to be a Schaefer nib. Very firm and sort of blobby. Well, I'm going to go back to the one that I think is kind of scratchy with its one split iridium nib on it. No, let me just see if there is iridium on this thing at all. I go through the trouble, because I know it will continually bother me if I hear that sort of raspy sound. I'm trying to see if it is silver in color at the end. God damn it, to get my loop, find my loop. This is not my loop. Well, I think there's iridium on the sides. Hold on, don't go away. Here's my pen with an app, except it's not a pen, it's a microscope. And how does it work? I think you're supposed to put your bug or something on the end of this thing, and then this is there's a lens here at this end with a fingerprint on it now, and then there's a lens down at the other end, and you can look through it and you can see. So let's just see if this works. Of course my glasses are in the way. I'm going to the ophthalmologist on Friday to see if I can get an operation on my eyes that I was supposed to have quite some time ago. And with the death of my father and other stuff that got in the way, I was unable to do that. Well, this is a great thing if I was looking at a bug, a dead bug. Looking at a pen nib point, looking at that atom of iridium. I'm just trying to see the color difference, if there is a color difference. Well, it's hard to tell. It may have, maybe the single atom is only on one tine rather than both, but we'll try it out. I know that there's other options here. No, it's going to bother me. Okay, never mind. That goes in the iridiumless area. I'm going to put in another one here that will work but won't be scratchy. The other one was kind of scratchy. Is this the one that's like a... I think that's too big. It's too small. That's just right. No, that's... Is this the one that was in it? I think... Okay, it's going to be this one. I may end up putting a warranted nib or a really fine, flexible dip pen nib in it. Because I think a dip pen nib that's really, really flexible but really, really fine might be good. Should I just do that? Let's try that out. Come on. Dip. I normally, like, look at this thing. This could choke a horse. Look at that. This really looks like it would be a fun nib. Look how long and thin that is. It sort of matches the pen, and it's doesn't fit though, does it? Never mind. Ooh. This is it's what's this? Is this a Waterman? Waterman Ideal number 2. Why are these in here? This does say dip, doesn't it? It did say dip on the drawer. That's not a good look for a nib. Exit stage left. Stage right even. I think some of these are just broken, and then they get put in the broken drawer. There are some dip nibs that are really, really tiny, and they're almost too tiny for most pens, and so I never use them. I usually keep them in the little holders that they originally came with, and this one, it's all funky. Let me just see. Yes, this is what I want. I want this nib in here. This is turning into a Frankenpen. Wasn't my intention. Okay, go in. Thank you. It was not my intention to turn this pen into a Frankenpen, but I may do it. And it can always be undone. I'm assuming there's iridium on the end of this, but there might not even be. On a pen like this, what was I going to say? A pen like this, what, Pierre? Finish your sentence. I don't know what I was going to say. See, this is, I don't know what I was going to say, but this is now kind of a perfect pen, except the nib is 50 years older, or 60 years older than the actual pen. But there's this delicacy and a lightness about this pen that makes me conscious of the delicacy of the nib. Now, why is it skipping? Because it's the wrong pen here. Dip pen nibs don't have a breather hole in them, and sometimes skipping is a result of the feed not being able to correct for the air pressure or something. I don't know what. You have to be a chemist to understand that. Well, this may not be right either. But anyway, this is the nib that I was going to put in it. I'm just going to set it there on the bottom all by itself, and I can maybe come back to that. I think I have one of these in my collection, though I tried to find it the other day, and I was unable to, but I wasn't really able to access. I have all my winter clothes piled up in front of one of my areas where I store my pens. My pen collection is in a number of different locations because some of them are sets and they're in with sets, and some of them are in boxes, the cases they originally came in, and some of them are there. Some of them are here on my drawing desk, some are in other drawers. So I thought I went and looked in the logical places that its sibling could be, but have been unable to find it. Well, I'm going to leave this one in here for now. I can always swap it out later. And now this pen is covered in ink. It's a funny pen. It's very light, disarmingly light. I don't even know what kind of pen this is. I mean, yes, it's an Eversharp something from the late 40s or early 50s. After the Skyline era, maybe after the Fifth Avenue era. It's sort of like a thin version of the Symphony pen. Has that clip, same clip. It's really neat having this smooth part there. Your hand can sort of go up and down, and you change the balance of the pen. This would be, if it weren't so delicate, I would think it would be a good pen to draw with, take out sketching. It feels like, it's so lightweight, it feels like it could just fly out of your hand. I feel I can't hold it tightly enough. Okay, this is not working. Okay, I'm just going to put this back. The issue with this nib is the feed needs to go in further, and the nib has to be held more tightly, and now it's not working at all. God damn it. Why is it not working at all now? Is this the one that had the single atom of iridium on it? They're all different, and they all fit differently. See, this is tight against the feed. The other one was loose. Okay, this is not the iridium missing one. This is the one that's like a Schaefer nib. Really unpleasant. It's unsatisfying. It's not unpleasant. It's unsatisfying. It just doesn't do anything for me. Maybe this one will. This feels very sharp too. No, equally unsatisfying. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just unsatisfying. It doesn't make it does not spark joy. No, I think a really, really fine nib would spark joy in this pen. It could be firm and fine. Firm and noisy is not what this pen. See, this is another one that does not spark joy. This is a very fun little puzzle to try to solve. Are any of these going to work? Too big, too big, too big. A lot of these nibs I bought years ago when I was in Texas. I had the opportunity to buy a number of nibs that an antique dealer had, but his store burned down. And all of the pens that, this is the iridium-less one, all of the pens he had burned, but the gold nibs survived the fire. So he sold me I bought, stupid me, bought all of the gold nibs. This is the nib that goes in the burp pen. He sold all of the nibs, and a lot of them I had to scrape off caked on burnt ebonite feed material off of them, and I didn't always do a good job of it. This is a Skyline nib. Too big. Too big. Too small. Just right. Well, I may have to I might find another Frankenpen dip pen nib to put in it. But let me put one that belongs in it. Maybe I'll just put it in the drawer with the other ones, or put it in my sale bin if I have, in fact, a different one. If I actually have one of these already, I may sell this one. Put a nib that works. Maybe you'll like the nib, or maybe you'll be like many pen collectors and never actually use them. Just put this in the slot that it's missing. Okay, this is like the Schaefer. It's way too loud. It's way too. The quietness is way too loud on this pen, but it's okay. This is it. Here I thought the story would end happily, but it's ending. It's not unhappy, but it's just not ending. It's not sparking joy. But I will find something that will spark joy. Okay, let's turn this over. Oh, there's two more down here. I swept up my floor the other day, and there were, yeah, I know. You sweep your floors, Per Gustafson. And there were a couple of gold nibs I found. I was about to throw in the trash, and I decided I better sift through, and I found a paper clip, thumbtack, an erector set screw, things that of course I need. You never know when you need a thumbtack. Push pin. It was a push pin, not a thumbtack. And this is okay. It has enough flexibility to prove that it's a fountain pen, and this will be fine for the moment. And there were those gold nibs, so I decided, okay, better not throw those out. See, it needs a nib like this. This is really, really fine. It's a brand new Schaefer, new old stock, has a price tag still, price marking still, I don't know, printed on it somehow. They didn't silk screen it, but some sort of print. This is the kind of nib I want on that pen. Very fine. I'll find it. I've got all the time in the world. I'm waiting. Where are you, nib? Okay, bye.